Good afternoon and welcome back or welcome to the Summit Gaming Podcast, where you get the spill on everything gaming, hip hop culture, pop culture, whatever we find interesting and just out there in our minds from your favorite four digital athletes, right? So, speaking of, let me introduce us four, starting with myself, Razor SJS. You can find me on Twitch and YouTube. Mostly do gaming things. I'm working on bigger projects right now, so I don't have a lot of things going on in my individual channel, so I'm not going to spend too much time promoting myself. Firstly, I want to give a moment of silence for our co-host who could not make it to today's recording. It is your boy Ashy. Let's give him 5 seconds of digital silence in case he wants to edit in his piece or anything.
What is up, everybody? I want to welcome y'all back to the Summit episode 8. Unfortunately, like Razor said, I wasn't able to make it to the recording of this podcast. I got a lot of personal stuff going on right now this week. It shouldn't carry over to the next week, but in case it does, I might miss this week and the next. But no problem here. I got full trust of the capabilities of my co-host. I hope they brought you a good show today. I'm sure they did. I know they did. I took a little quick sneak peek at the show notes, and whoever made it did a fantastic job. I'm thinking it was Striker. It looks like Striker's work. So Striker, if you're hearing this, hey, good fucking work, man. But yeah, I want to thank everybody who participated in the giveaway. We do have the announcers for the 2 winners that I'm pretty sure they're going to drop later on in this podcast. Once again, thank you for everybody who came out to the giveaway, everybody who joined the Discord. I'm hoping all of you stay. I'm hoping all of you get involved and active in our chat. Best believe we do have plans on bringing you more giveaways in the future. We hope to make this a monthly thing, and once a year we do look forward to giving away something bigger, probably like consoles, PC parts, or PCs that are already pre-built. So stay tuned, keep listening to the podcast, keep dropping us 5 stars, just push our ratings up so we can reach more people and start giving back to more in the community. But as always, I'm your boy Ashy, and I'm gonna leave the rest of the podcast to my co-host. Thank y'all for tuning in. Peace.
Okay, that's enough. Now on to the next co-host. We got the myth, the man, Mr. Stay Positive, but trials just won't let him. Rain, aka CJ.
That's tough.
Speak your piece.
That's tough. It's your boy, Rain, aka CJ. You can find me on Twitch with underscores in between that for some reason. I don't want to go too long into my intro. I got clips from Twitch on YouTube too. Not any big projects out just yet. And currently, I'm back into Destiny at the moment. So it's fun. It's amazing. We love it here. And shit like that.
Yeah, they got him back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get a hand clap for Bungie. And on to our next co-host, the legend, Mr. Never Lose, Never Lost, Not Once. Doesn't know the meaning, apparently. Don't fact check with me, but you can ask him. It's the legend, the almighty Striker.
Yo, what's good, y'all? Absolutely. That statement is 100% true. I've never known a loss, don't know what losing is, does not exist in my vocabulary, it's not a part of my dictionary. All I do is win. I'm always up. That is me. You can find me at the Almighty Striker on Twitch, same thing on TikTok, and all you'll find is greatness.
You
All
understand
right.
to know that you've never lost, you would have to know what a loss is.
One more time? What you talking about?
Alright, we just gonna chalk that up to another not lost.
All right, enough with the fuckery. Okay, so we're gonna start this one big. We are going to open up with the giveaway, which has ended. For those of you who did not know, most of you probably did. Dragon's Dogma 2 giveaway closed on the 13th this past weekend, and we are going to announce the winners right here and now, live in front of you. We don't even know who they are yet. We're going to spin for them. We decided actually to open it up to 2 winners due to the sheer size of people. That influx came in. We didn't expect this many entries, and it was really surprising. So we doubled the prize, and best of luck to you. Right? So, for our first winner, we're gonna click the win here. I don't know if you boys want to give a drum roll, any dramatic uprise, anything. Feel free.
I got you at the drum roll.
All right, bet. Let me know. I'll play off you. Got it wheel up. We're clicking the spin.
Oh.
Wow, didn't know that's what y'all meant. Okay. All right. And our first winner, I'm sorry for butchering this, Beelzera. So let's get that written down somewhere. Make sure that we know. And we're also going to be announcing these in the Discord channel themselves. So No need to. We'll remember. You'll see. Now for winner number 2.
Okay.
What the fuck was
You
that
ready?
for,
You
huh?
ready? You
Who
ready?
is you? Who's you? Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Winner number
Disrespectful.
2.
Let's go. Winner number 2. Downside of the podcast, you can't see the wheel.
Yeah.
Wow, it's so funny because Cheeto almost won, but he didn't. It's Simon Riley. So congratulations to Simon Riley and Bielzera, our 2 winners of the Dragon's Dogma 2 giveaway. We are going to contact you guys via Discord so that you can get your winnings. All right. Um, and to everyone that entered, once again, huge thank you to you for even bothering to come our way. And we really hope you guys stay and like in the Discord. We are like a little small community. We will be here. We'll talk to you. We'll game with you. Everything. And we want to do a lot more things like this in the future with other games and releases that we find interesting and cover content on. So please stay, be a part of the village. We would love to have you and see you in any future contests, tournaments, anything. I won't say too much because we don't have everything all road mapped out yet, so I don't get you too excited. But love the fact that we did this giveaway. Can't wait to do the more, and we hope that you're there for them. So now to start the officially start the podcast, the actual discussions and everything going over. We're gonna start with gaming since we already went this way, and just to keep it consistent, let's start with Dragon's Dogma. If there's any continued news or gameplay experiences that you want to discover, you want to talk about, or anything while we're just talking about the subject.
Dragon's Dogma 2? Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Facts.
because me myself, I haven't gotten too much further than I have previous time I talked about it,
Yeah,
so I don't have too much extra on it. But
I think I'm kind of in the same spot that I left off on, like story-wise, but exploration-wise and tip-wise. I've learned a lot more, I guess, as a player. Port crystals, those that you do get, and you place those down into places so that you can use the fairy stone to go back to them. You can pick those up and move those. They don't have to remain in that location that you placed them at originally. So therefore, whenever you feel like you're doing quest or exploring a region, you can put those in those point of interest or those towns that you might have to frequent, so you're not as reliant on Oxcart and just Lamborghinis.
I'm glad that's the way you went because I sure was gonna ask since we're giving away the copies, any tips for newer players, since
Yeah.
say, but you're doing perfect. Keep going.
The
You don't need me.
the trickster vocation is more of a support slash advanced player vocation. It's not like leading onto it. A lot of the hype around it were people thinking it was an advanced vocation for the rogue. It's not. It's more or less you're buffing your pawns, so you're more of a tactician type of player. Like you're playing chess, not checkers, when you're playing that vocation, utilizing the illusions that you set up to basically take advantage of the game design of luring things off the cliff or distracting them while your pawns abuse them. It could be a fun way to play if you're into that type of thing, like manipulating other people, or if you just want a different approach from hacking and slashing. It's not as flashy as the Mystic Spearhand, which is pretty dope. My current vocation. I think I'm one level away from maxing out, and then I will switch to probably the Trickster just to get some good gameplay playing as it, I guess. I'm not too far into the game where I feel like I would absolutely get wrecked if I try it. So I'm pretty sure there's still a whole nother volcano peak that I have to explore. I just reached the city of Ball myself personally. And take advantage of selling things and storing weight on your pawns. And if you accidentally make a mistake and you create your pawn and it's some petite little male or petite little female, whichever your heart desires, you can go to the vendor right next to the mega rift stone and the first town you go to, and he sells you transmogs or like a talisman that you can take to the barber shop and completely change your pawn's look or your player's look for only like 10k gold. It's very inexpensive and pretty useful. I don't think there's a limit to the quantity you can buy, but just know it costs 10K every time you do it. Something I did notice too is I don't know if there's a quest tied to it, but once I got to the city of Batho or whatever, it's the first place where resting in the town actually cost a substantial amount of money. It's like quad nines for some reason, whereas every other little rest point I've been to, it's been 1,500 or 2,000, reasonable. So I don't know why the prices are so high over there, but I'll be sure to talk about that next time.
That's inflation for you.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Well, hopefully those little newbie tips help out our little new winners or anyone else who just picked up the game. And while we are talking about a game patch release, Striker, to give you some floor, right? Have you made any progress, Rise and Ronin? Have any other opinions on that?
No, not yet. I've been
Okay.
meaning to get back to it, but there's been a lot of things that have come out lately.
So
I
you
feel
still
you. I
think it's
feel
gonna
you.
be
That's
game of
what's
the year though?
happening. Oh, that's the question.
100%. I gotta stand by it.
I mean, you don't have to stand by it. You're
I mean,
allowed to
like,
change
yeah,
your
be
opinion.
honest, Don't die
Yeah,
on
I
the
mean,
hill.
as far as a story game goes, it's by far been the one that's been most interesting to me.
Come on, man. That's the
You've
one
been
thing
you've
we
been
had
that
the hardest
invested
on,
in
right,
the
bro?
story.
Uh, as far as a story game goes, it's the one that's been most interesting to me.
Okay.
Okay.
We can move on past this, and we probably have 2 full podcasts of us arguing over this game. So we're gonna let it die. We already been beating the fuck out of that horse. We're gonna
I'm
let it
just
rest.
laughing.
But we're gonna move on to something else you two can happily argue about. You know what I'm saying? Something that Rain just mentioned, and I've also recently got back into myself. Destiny 2. All right. And I know this is gonna be mad late for people who play Destiny. I'm sorry. But Into the Light, it's this new event that's trying to get players new and old, from what I hear, return back into the game and feeling it and fresh, basically ready for in final shape. Almost fucked that up. Um, Now, once again, I am a returning newbie player, right? Like I have a ton of hours in Destiny in general, but I never did a lot of in-game content. I just kind of played through the game and I'm out, right? But these two suckers here, apparently one is, I don't know what they call him, the legendary guardian or something. He'll probably tell you. And the other one is actually, I don't know, once again, because I'm not a Destiny head. Rank 11 guardian, they know what they're talking about. And, these new changes and all this stuff going around for these new players, asking like how you feel about it, what you doing to get ready for final shape, how you feeling about that release coming up, Destiny news.
I think it's pretty fresh. The Into the Light thing's pretty dope. I like what they did with the Gift of the Thunderlords, bringing that back from I want to say it was season maybe 21 roughly. So more than maybe 6 to 8 months ago, they were offering a similar package, but now it actually gets you up to light, which means that you can play with other experienced players or your friends that might be hired that want to carry you through those experiences and maybe get you more involved in the Destiny lore, because I know it's very overwhelming to players when they first get into it because you don't quite understand the backstory. Bungie has shot themselves in the foot, sunsetting certain aspects of the game, and they're trying to right their wrongs by bringing all of this sunsetted content back into the game. I'm cool with it personally. I enjoy it. The new changes they're making PvP wise, they're cool. They increased everybody's health and things like that. There's a lot of room for growth still, so I don't want to see it die personally as a player, right? But I get that sometimes people can think the gameplay loop would be repetitive because they don't do certain things, so they're not experiencing like that full aspect. But if somebody tells you they enjoy playing Gambit, they're probably lying. So there's no worries there in that aspect. Personally, how you feel about the Into the Light shit, Scraggy?
I like it. I think it's pretty cool. I feel like Into the Light is more so to get players coming back to the game ready for final shape and acquiring those weapons with those roles that were very useful and like heavily sought after for end game content, such as like the recluse, which was a god weapon for such a long time in PvP, but was also pretty good if you got a roll for it in PvE. Fallen Guillotine, which was for the longest the main DPS sword that players would use. if they didn't have the exotic. Well, I guess Lament came after the Fallen Guillotine, but if you didn't do the exotic quest for the Lament, Fallen Guillotine was that weapon. Um, or other fun weapons like Mountaintop, which we still haven't gotten. What else is there? The Hung Jury. I'm not a fan of Scout, so I never really cared for the Hung Jury. Um, the Edge Transit, which comes with chain reaction perks on it, so you can do more than just deal damage. You can also hit majors and clear waves of enemies at the same time. Like they've added a pool of a lot of great weapons that these players can acquire with really great rolls to go into final shape and be a contender for the last and final raid race. And I feel like the biggest kind of takeaway of like all the news that we've gotten and all the developer what do they call them, podcast or whatever those sure, yeah, those teasers or trailers is that final shape and everything that they've introduced. And I wanted to touch upon that and talk about that, especially the prismatic abilities, or the prismatic subclass, or yeah, it's a subclass, and kind of get your take on it. I feel personally the prismatic class, as amazing as it sounds, I feel it will power creep a lot of basically every other subclass in the game.
I mean, I think it truthfully just boils down to their approach with how they launch it. Because in the you kind of got two different mixed angles from the developers when they were talking about it in the showcase the other day. Whereas one of them said that they're kind of sort of, some of them might be pre-built. Like, I feel like the subclass will have pre-built loadouts of different aspects that you can mix and match, instead of it actually being the player's full creativity of what you can mix and match aspect-wise and ability-wise. So I need to see more of it before I really want to speak on it, because I don't want to sound like a clown. Like, if they have predetermined loadouts with this subclass, like say you click this subclass and then there are 4 different like classes within the subclass that you can choose, I think it would be a little bit more balanced. But if you allow me to choose any and everything I want from each tree and make my own subclass, it's gonna get pretty crazy and pretty hectic. And then they don't sandbox their PvP from their PvE when it comes to balancing, so it becomes problematic for players, and they begin to complain, like, because Jotun's broken in PvP doesn't mean it should be disabled in PvE. You know what I mean? That type shit. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, like you said, there's a lot of pros and cons to it. If they do go with like a fully modular subclass where I can choose bits and pieces of specific abilities and aspects, and then choose my own fragments from the subclasses. Like, at that point, we're just completely doing away with solar. Well, not necessarily doing away with those subclasses, but essentially there's no choosing those subclasses, or really gearing for those types of subclasses, but more so gearing for like an elemental type gameplay, which would be interesting. It definitely sounds like it'll be a whole rework of the systems, and I don't think that's what they did. Just because knowing Bungie and the time that they have, the very limited time that they have, they don't have the time to do something like that. But if the case is that it is very limited to what I could do, I feel like that may also be like a letdown to like the player base, and that aspect of, okay, I wish I could have done something like doing like a quiver shot, being able to use my ult 3 times at the same time, still having gamblers in my toolkit, and as well as the what's it called, the void grenade so I can get Devour and just weaken the enemy with void. Right, and that just kind of just spitballing based off of what I didn't see, because
Yeah.
he did show some combinations,
They did
but
show
not
some
every.
combinations. Yeah. It looked very good. Like it definitely got me excited for Final Shape, don't get me wrong, but I just don't know what it's gonna be, you know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure they said this is still separate from the third darkness subclass, which would throw even more variables into the equation. Which is interesting.
Speaking of that whole light and darkness ability charges, um, that was also an interesting case that or take to it, and I wonder how that plays into part with your ability charges and your ult charge or supercharge. Like I feel like now you're having to balance multiple economies when it comes to like gameplay,
Yeah.
and that it'll throw I guess you could say armor building kind of out the window, because what can I do for my armor to get those like light and dark energy resources increased rather than focusing on melee or my melee abilities or grenades
But they said that
first.
that darkness thing was increased by like your meter done or your damage done with darkness damage, I guess. They spoke.
So there's a new weapon type or weapon damage type.
No, but like scran, stasis. They said doing damage with those
Oh,
abilities or those weapon types increase that bar that's under like your super bar or whatever. They kind of spoke on it in the showcase. Might have to refresh your memory on
yeah, I missed that part.
it. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's an interesting thing. It's definitely got me excited
Mm.
for Final Shape.
Yes, sir.
Just gotta wait till it drops. I mean, we're only 2 months away.
For
What do y'all think like the future of Destiny after? I think it's just because that's the end of like the 10-year plan or whatever, right?
yeah, kind of, sort of. They got 3 episodes lined up. It's just they haven't necessarily explained how long the episodes are supposed to cover, so it doesn't give you a full schedule. But my personal opinion is, I think they're good till August of 2025, and then I'm pretty sure, like if I had to bet a little money on it, that they would be probably looking at launching Destiny 3, because I don't think they're gonna go through with their other project.
That Destiny 3 leak. You really think they're gonna drop it?
Destiny 1, like towards the end of Destiny 1, you got things like sparrow horns and exotic class items on your guardian. And what are they giving us in Final Shape? Exotic class items on your guardians that can combine other like 2 different exotics intrinsic perks. They give you a new type of sparrow, a surfboard, like the Cloud Strider. Yes. I think they're gonna do a massive overhaul of the game onto their new engine, which I'm pretty sure is Tiger 2, and do away with the restrictions between light and darkness. Like they said, the end of the light and dark saga, and they're trying to get you to understand you're gonna be able to do both. I think that's gonna be their way of smoothing out the like the blemishes.
Definitely sounds like an interesting concept. I'm with it. I'm for it. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. Let's wait on the final shape first, right?
Right. Let's see
So
if we get blown away by that.
now I've also heard news of this new MOBA that I think Striker would probably has to be on. You've tried it, yes? You
Oh, yeah,
gigantic.
yeah, yeah. So
What about
Gigantic is
that?
so it's a game that they went into early access way back in like 2017, 2018, and just to kind of get a feel for what people thought about it. And back then the game was really fast paced, like insanely fast paced, to the point where it was almost impossible to really keep up with mouse and keyboard what was going on. Like you'd have to have like an insane like reaction timing. So after like a few months, they took it down for development and to work on it a little bit longer. And last Friday or last Thursday, it dropped officially. It dropped on all platforms: PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PC. They do have cross-platform, so you can play with any friends.
That should be the standard. You know what I'm
Absolutely,
saying? We should stop
especially
praising
for a
it.
MOBA.
Yeah, I mean, not to not give them praise, but I'm just saying, yeah, be standard. But yeah, thank him.
So the point of the game is you drop in with a team of 5. They have 2 different game modes: one clash, one rush. The clash is the longer version of the game's gameplay, and then rush is like a shorter version of the game where it takes probably roughly like 5 to 6 minutes to complete a match. The premise of the game is you load up on 2 sides of the map. You have one side, which is dark side, and then you have another side, which is light side. Each has a specific Titan, and they have their own aesthetics. One is like an eagle, the other is a snake. And the goal is for your team to defeat the opposing Titan. And to do so, the team must go around and collect or steal power orbs at specific locations. So instead of having multiple lanes with towers, you have essentially like 3 lanes with creatures or locations or zones, you could say, if there's no creatures occupying that space, which you can steal the power from. Those zones are split. There should be 2 zones per lane on each side, so there's a total of 6 zones, and you can build a creature or summon a creature on each of those zones if the team has enough points or summoning points. And you can acquire those summoning points by battling and defeating enemies or defeating other creatures. When you defeat enemies, you can add to a gauge, power gauge, which will allow your Titan to rampage and traverse to the other side of the map, which will essentially render the other opposing Titan weak or weaken them and pin them down and allow the team 20 seconds of just DPS, just all out damage on this Titan. After those 20 seconds, then the team, has to retreat, or if you can attempt to retreat. During that, the opposing team that's being attacked has to defend by either killing or just pushing them away. And then it kind of just has that same gameplay loop until one of the Titans' health bars drop to 0. During the longer version, which is Clash, there's a health pool of 3 hearts, and you have to deplete each of those hearts' health pool to finish that game. So there's no towers essentially in this game. It's just all combat. You do have roles. You have your tank role, you have a support role, and then you have your DPS role, which is broken into range of melee. And your supports can also be another version of a DPS role based on its toolkit. So it can be arranged. It can only be a range or just fully support. The game is very fast paced in the sense that they definitely worked and wanted mobility to be the main take and drive for the game. So you have a stamina meter, to which if you hold on PC, if you hold shift, you can sprint, and the second you let go, you stop sprinting. And that stamina meter is at 100. Each character is the same. And once it depletes, your character speed is completely reduced. Every majority of the heroes in the game have a certain type of mobility to get away, but this adds to that fast-paced gameplay and positioning, getting to a fight quick, or retreating a fight really quick. Personally, I think the game is really fun. I've enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed it a lot back then when it was absolutely chaos. And even so now that it's slowed down a little bit, it definitely didn't take away from the fun.
All right, that was a lot of info to digest. But I am kind of intrigued by the non-traditional no towers thing. I guess that's kind of crazy. Something worth looking into if you're into the MOBA game sense. Speaking of other gaming news, huh? Are you speaking for them?
Definitely am. I feel like I try to get on You know what? That's a personal thing. This is definitely a game to check out.
Oh man, I'm just saying, bro. You speaking for the listener at home, like
We're
you
not
know them or
sponsored.
something, bro.
We're not
Don't be
sponsored.
slipping like that. I got you. So I think the next game is also a striker exclusive. I think you're the only one of us to have tried this. But Once Human, I know you've streamed that. I didn't know that. Well, let us know what is that in it. I know nothing about that game. I can't speak of.
So yeah, Once Human is a game that's currently in closed beta. You can go onto their site. We can link both games actually in description, so you guys can go check it out. And Once Human is a survival based game that its perspective is a third person perspective, and it's a shooter game. It's a looter shooter in a sense that they do have missions. You can go into these missions, clear out the level, loot whatever you can, gather as much resources, and pull out of the mission, and then go to your base, build your base, and just fortify yourself and build anything you can that this game provides.
Or is it like an open world survival type
Yeah,
Minecraft, but realistic?
essentially, except you're not fighting creepers or dinosaurs or nothing like that. They have their own like alien type. So this world, you're a deviant, and your whole goal in this is to basically retake the world back from these aliens that came to your world and took over.
Yeah, down. Yeah, they did y'all dirty. So how is that? How's the fight?
The fight is actually really good. You have multiple weapons that you can use. You can use an AR, a pistol, variety of guns. You can also use melee weapons such as bats, knives, machetes, swords. They got an extensive pool on weapons that you can both find and craft. Every weapon
So
that you do find can be craftable,
what's
and
the gameplay loop like?
it's at the very beginning, you start off. They give you your introduction on how to essentially play the game and move the controls, of course, and then they'll teach you your powers that you're not a typical like human. You kind of inherited a power.
When we ever?
You inherited a power based off of like this deviant that you find. Once you find this deviant, you can synergize this or energize this deviant, and then add it to your backpack almost. It seems like, and you'll inherit its power, and you can use that deviant to help fight with you. You'll essentially just kind of you can either just aimlessly go around and travel the world, and fight or combat enemies. If you travel too far off, though, and enter in an area that's above your power level, you won't have a good time. There is a power level in the game, and your power level is based off of the experience that you earned and the areas and missions that you complete.
Okay, so you're gonna be kind of like taking a linear path through that map then. So, but like
It's,
I thought I saw you collecting like materials. So did you like build bases and shit or
Mhm.
no?
Yeah. So you
Yeah,
can
do that and then move regions and do it again and
You
like
can build a base anywhere you want to, and once you build a base, doesn't mean that that base is stuck there. You can recall your base and move locations based off of your power level because they know you're not going to stay in a certain area the whole time of the game. So they
Yeah.
allow you to build your main base wherever you want to.
But you said that's in closed beta already, so there's no getting in if you're not already in, I assume.
There is a way of getting in. If you go to their website and click on their sign up for beta or download beta launcher, it'll also take you to their Discord where they're constantly handing out keys every weekend.
And how long is the beta supposed to last?
I think the beta is it's indefinite right now. They were doing a mobile beta. They actually want to port this to mobile gaming. For right now it's Android only, so you can get it on Google Play. But that has ended this past weekend. We don't know when that's gonna happen again.
Mm.
The game
Yeah.
is set to release sometime later this year, possibly end of fall. But we'll see where the devs take it from there.
Mm-hmm. How do y'all feel about like betas being held like that? I feel like this kind of weird, right? Because that reminds me of Multiverses, how they had that beta, which was just really the full game they had developed so far, and then shut down to I don't know. It's kind of weird sometimes. Like I feel like betas should be like hey, the game's complete. Here's a portion we want you to test out. But
I like.
but then again, I guess playing a game as it's being developed is also kind of cool. So there's ups and downs. I'm in the middle. It's kind of weird. I guess it's only weird when they have to like back away or shut it down unintentionally, or I mean unforeseen. They didn't mean it. But maybe that's just me. But I think that's the last of the. No, actually, as far as things that's come out, season one, the Suicide Squad, which I was gonna leave you, Rain, because we have not touched that, but you unfortunately, you're invested. You know what I mean? So I don't know how long season one's supposed to run, but I do know that it's turned down a lot of players because of the whole like Joker being locked behind, basically completing the season, even though he is the entire pool of people coming back. The reason why, but
Yeah, I'm
Rain,
not a
as someone
fan
who's
of that.
played the season, yeah, I assume no one is, but as someone who's played the season, what are some of your deeper thoughts?
I mean, it's literally
on the
the
season
same
itself?
replay loop that you kind of had at the end of the story, and whereas you're really
Mhm.
just fighting against 13 Brainiacs and progressing each world of this DC universe until you're strong enough to fight the Brainiac on that universe, which gets repetitive and boring because you're not really making it entertaining. Like once you max out the characters, it's like there's nothing else you really
Yeah,
need to do. You know what I mean? Like,
I say in that case, you should definitely let them have the character at the beginning of the season. That's the only new thing.
yeah, I think their
That's
best
no.
approach should have been probably, well, obviously giving the champ to people or the character to people right away.
Hmm.
And then they also the game overall probably would have had a better response if it was free to play. Which
Which so what y'all thinking? It's finna head to the shutdown. They finna take it out to the farm.
yeah, I mean I'm pretty sure they're already stopping the development of it. Like
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Well, I mean, hey, I'm a DC fan, so I love the concept. Wish it would have worked, but hey, it died. It failed.
need a
It's
little bit more
unfortunate,
cooking.
but it happens. Yeah, they do. But hopefully, this teaches them a lesson. I don't know what they're going to learn from it, but it got to be something.
It
You know
was
what I'm
first
saying? So
Rocksteady, like first Rocksteady's like real
yeah,
multiplayer game.
multiplayer live service game. Yeah,
Yeah,
which is what a lot of people had a problem with because like they're like, yo, why don't you just stick to the formula? You know what you're good at, which I could get and understand. But at the same time, when the industry moves forward, you
you gotta
gotta
move
move
forward.
forward with it. With it, yeah, exactly. I doubt they wanted to. Well, yeah, we all know they didn't want to, but hey, the industry set a standard. They have to match because that's just what brings in profits, unfortunately. But don't let that blind you in the fact that it can be done well. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
like, I think it's we gotta hold these individual companies, and in question. I don't know who to blame exactly because I know it's not the developers themselves. Those more the shareholders and all that people who control the money flow. But hey, they don't
Stakeholder.
care. They probably don't play the game themselves. They don't give a fuck. But hopefully something changes. Maybe we have to. I don't know because once again, with live service games and like microtransactions, they're still a thing. And they're still popular because we buy into them. As much as we say we hate them online, there's enough of us buying into them. And like I can admit, I've probably bought what wait fucking I probably bought at least two battle passes this year so far. I so like hey, it's a pretty efficient model. We're stuck. We're stuck. I don't think I know of a way out. I don't know. I kind of feel like we just gotta kind of rely on goodwill of people to do it well, but when the fuck is that gonna go well? You know what I mean?
Play a Spider-Man game or two.
I already did. It's
No, I
over.
was talking about to the stakeholders.
Oh,
They
wait, what?
did. If the
You said
stakeholders did,
you said they played Spider Man?
if they would have,
Oh, if they would have, then what?
you could tell they didn't. I'm
Oh,
just saying.
wait, what? How does someone who didn't play Spider Man look? Put me on game.
Suicide Squad.
I
What?
don't get. See, I don't know, bro.
What
See,
was
you
the
just hating right
correlation?
now. We're gonna, mute your mic and let that out somewhere else. We're gonna move on.
What?
Remember, Stellar Blade is releasing on April 26th. That is pretty soon. And it's looking pretty fine as far as everyone's concerned. You know, you had that demo, you tried it out. It was pretty great. If you're into the Dark Souls ish type of game foundation, but with a fast paced like dodge parry combat system, you know, this is for you. And there's also still, you know, some controversy around it, obviously, because of the main character and how she looks and how her body shape is, and how a lot of people have been defending her. But at the same time, there are people in the community who, you know, do the no clothes mods, the nude runs and stuff. And so the game devs themselves want to call out these players, tell them to, you know, chill out on that. You know what I mean? Because it's not what they're trying to represent at all. You know, because I think what they did is a positive message, because, you know, you can have good looking characters in video games. You know, I feel like that's not a sin at all, and we don't have to. Every character doesn't have to represent a realistic body shape. You know, even for men, like look at Devil May Cry. You think it only looks like that? No, you know, and it's fun to see. So I like what they're doing. At the same time, I do understand there are people who take it too fucking far. Chill out on that. Also, apparently, players have like been racking in hours on the demo. That is pretty crazy. I don't know how or why y'all doing that. You can wait a few weeks, man. Just chill out. It'll be there.
Been climbing up and down a ladder forever.
Yo, chill out.
Crazy.
Anyway,
What is it? Physics?
so more gaming news. Marvel's Rivals, right? I don't think there is an official date yet. But there is, as I was just discussing with Striker shortly before we started recording, an alpha sign up. There's going to be a closed alpha. There's a sign up right now. I'm not entirely sure how they get these links to you guys. So I assume that's something done in the post editing, or it's going to be in the Discord. So yeah, that's a good reason to be in Discord. We share the links here. So you look for a link to the closed alpha sign up. There's also apparently a higher chance for you to get a key if you join their Discord channel as well, which there's going to be a link to at the end of the alpha sign up. So if you don't want to take your chances, want better chances, go for that. Not sure how long this is going to be up at all. So ASAP if you are interested. For those who do not know what Marvel Rivals is, it's an upcoming 6v6 hero shooter game. Think like Overwatch is, you know, characters have abilities. It's also, ironically, from what I read, a 2-2-2, you know, 2 supports, 2 damage, 2 tanks. It's kind of just like that, another hero shooter, but with a Marvel skin on it. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I want to wait on gameplay to see, you know, just because I have a fear for anything that has a lot of things that have Marvel and DC skins on them, because I do fear they're usually mediocrity just wrapped with that nice little present bow, you know. So be careful, but, you know, once again, that's all the more reason to try the alpha. Just get a little taste of it for free. Another game upcoming, Black Myth Wukong. I know Rain's pretty excited with this one, so I'll let him take that away if you want to talk more about that release and any news you've heard since.
I haven't heard anything since, like, I think it was the last Gamescom or E3, which I'm pretty sure they're not doing anymore. So the last thing I've seen is the trailer that we will have linked for it too, besides other content creators getting in-depth looks at it a little earlier. In that regard, it's expected to launch, I think, August 24th, either 24th or 26th.
I'm seeing 20th.
20th?
So
Okay.
August 20th. So that, but, you know, still a long time away. Black Myth, for those who are unaware, this game following the legend of Wukong, you know, the Monkey King. I don't know too much about the legend myself, so I can't give you the rundown. But gameplay wise, looks pretty fire. It looks more. I don't want to call everything Souls. It's just because it looks like that, you know.
That is what they said, though. That's how they describe it. But
you know,
on
everybody
top of
describes like that. Yeah.
it's an adaptation of the story of, like, the Journey to the West, like the Monkey King thing, and you can find that on Amazon. It's broken down into 4 different volumes for the English translation, but it's an older Chinese mythology type story.
Yeah, you have it. But then again, that doesn't come out till August, so there is plenty of time to get info on that. So no rush there. There are Game Pass updates here. There is Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition added on April 11th. Harold Halibut was added on the 16th. There is a trailer, so I'm guessing that is a newish game. Yeah, it looks.
It's
I
an
don't.
indie studio as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, both of
There
those
you go.
two things. Those last.
You know
two
anything
games
about
that-
it? Yeah.
Nah.
Okay. Oh, and EU didn't chronicle 100 Heroes is the other one, and that was added, or that will be added on the 23rd. And there's also going to be a trailer for that.
That's an RPG game that looks pretty
Nice.
cool. I think there's 100 heroes involved in that one. The other one, the animation style reminded me of like I don't know if you like play animation type shit. You know, I'm talking about stop motion pictures.
Mm. You're talking about like the art style, right? The
Yeah.
stop motion. Yeah. Well, this is my first time hearing about it. So I can't tell you anything about the gameplay itself, but
Yeah.
it's on Game Pass, so it's free. So why not try it, right? For as far as PS Extra, these are downloads as of the end of March, so there might be changing sometime too. You might see some coming up, right? Number one, respective of North America of NA and EU is Helldivers 2. Number two is MLB The Show. That's for NA. For EU, it is EA Sports FC 24. Number three for both NA EU is Dragon's Dogma 2. Number 5 for EU is Rise of the Roman. Right? Striker, maybe you're in the wrong country. But in NA, it is Rainbow. That is really
Surprising.
yeah. Number 9 for NA is Rise of the Ronin, so still up there for you, but no. And then
we're just working our way up.
yeah, but it's behind Madden, Rainbow, and Star Wars. I'm not sure. It doesn't say what specific Star Wars game it is. I'm not sure what the newest.
Battlefront, the collection.
The renewed thing. Yeah. Of course, that one beats it. Yeah, the mode heads gonna rep for that. Best believe. Also, it says the Gran Turismo World Series begins April 17th. I don't, not a NASCAR racing guy myself. Not into that. But on to things that we are all here into. Believe so. First up, we have going on to pop culture topics. Unless is there anything else gaming that you two gentlemen want to discuss that we missed? I think we could just about cover it all. Take that silence as a yes. So, as far as shows, first up, Shogun. We're gonna keep it spoiler free, of course. But and we're not even going to talk about this week's episode at all. But how you guys have been feeling about? Well, Rain, I don't think have you been watching Shogun?
No, not
No, but Striker, I know you're caught up for the most part, except for today, right? Just like me.
And 8.
And
I wouldn't say like how spoiler free we keeping it. Like we going back 3.
Well, 2 at least. I want to say at least 2 weeks to be safe. So a new episode released today, right? So not today. Not 8. We'll just talk about 7 and back. We'll leave 8 out too.
Okay, I definitely want to talk
you
about
haven't
7.
seen it, so yeah, go for it. Or the show overall has just been, since it's kind of an old episode. Just how you feeling about the whole show overall, too?
Oh, I mean the show's great. I definitely feel like, okay, so this is a new debate and possibly another hot take for show of the year. Battle between Shogun and
he's there. My bad.
It's always of the year. There's always an of the year debate, music.
Who are you talking to like this?
Game. No, I'm just saying. I was just mentioning.
I mean, yeah. I go for it.
But between Fallout, so I haven't seen Fallout, but I've never been a fan of anything Fallout. I feel like.
Oh my god, what are you a fan of? I watched the first episode of Fallout. I had the chance to catch it yesterday.
I think Fallout in general is just boring, so I don't think there's any much of a story to really go off of.
Open world games are usually what you make out of them, but and there is a story typically. It typically gives you one big quest at the start, and it's up to you to do it, but it just doesn't hold your hand. I feel.
Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
I have not. No. I don't own the game.
There you go. That's okay. That's a good one.
Like I'm not the huge.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm not the hugest Fallout fan, but I have played a few games. I played 3, New Vegas, and 4. I don't know if I beat 4 though. I'd probably doubt it since I don't remember. But I played 3 in New Vegas, and I like it.
I've heard controversies and I've read controversies about the show having mixed timelines and being based off of that one or something like that.
New Vegas, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like there's always going to be turmoil with that because, the way the Fallout series works is every game isn't a continuation of the last, right? Because each vault number is so those are the vaults hidden all around the country, right? So typically each game follows someone coming out of a different vault. So it's a whole different adventure, just going on around the same time period, I suppose, right? So like I fully imagined. I didn't even know about the Fallout show at all until my family told me about it yesterday and watched the first episode. But I fully imagined that with a new show, they would show a new vault and have it on in the original story. I wouldn't expect them to do the same exact thing. I haven't played New Vegas in a long ass time, so I'm not sure if it's the same vault or at all. Because I know it's vault in the show 33 or 32, 33. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the same one from the game because it's been a long ass time. But I do think that like controversy like that, while it may turn certain fans away from watching the show, if you're someone who's just coming into it as like just a non Fallout fan or just a casual Fallout fan, I don't really think that type of shit would bother you because you wouldn't know
It's
about it in the
actually
first place.
it's generated more like players for them since
Oh,
the show.
hey.
Yeah, it's been a
Yeah, I mean,
popular
honestly, yeah.
player base.
Oh, yeah, because there's an MMO, Fallout 76,
Yeah.
and
Well, no,
they
no, no,
recently,
not
you
for
know,
that. Yeah. Well,
not for
yeah.
that.
Fallout 76 is a thing that's an
Yeah,
MMO, but it's
because I
generated
know
more
they
players
also
for
recently
the
got an update.
original, for Fallout 4 and New
Uh,
Vegas. Those
I
have more
see.
downloads and or more purchases since the show has
Yeah.
launched because
Shit, I understand. I liked it. Like, and because I was a big Bethesda, because it is Bethesda, right?
yes, it's been received
Yeah,
very
yeah,
well by the
yeah.
fans.
Because I was a big Bethesda fan back then. Because I played Oblivion and Skyrim as well. I like the open world of Fallout. It's just you got to make your own thing, and the story is there. But I see because there's not really like heavy leading clues as to like where you're supposed to go for main story. You're supposed to kind of like just explore on your own and eventually naturally find it. I guess that's kind of like how they expect you to do it. But from what I watched in the episode, there was a lot of things that's true to the game and how it and how characters are. The dress, the set dress is amazing with the looks, the music. I really I really liked it and it intrigued me to watch more. So I don't have anything negative to say about the show, honestly, but I'm not too deep into it. I
Which is
think,
fair.
yeah.
Yeah.
The
But
reviews
I
about
feel
it have all been
going
great.
into this though.
Uh,
I was gonna say going into this though and watching that show, and because you've seen Sonic, yeah, and the Mario game, and I mean what other like game adaptation we have to movies.
Those are
I'm be
movies.
honest.
TV shows are gonna do better than movies because movies rush
I mean,
in
same.
so
I mean,
many
it's the same
things.
thing.
No, they're not. That's why I'm trying to explain to you the difference.
Okay, they've had so a TV series is
Mm.
allotted like extra time to kind of develop the story
Yes.
and really include all details.
Yes,
But if a movie can do the same thing in less time, I feel
but a
like
movie can't do the same thing in less time. That's why they're always
Sonic
perceived
did.
bad. Sonic didn't. Like Sonic got bullied into making their shit better than what it was gonna be. By
I
the
mean,
populace.
besides the art, I mean, sure, yeah, but at least the final product, if we're basing it solely on the final product that we got, Sonic delivered. Like it delivered the
It's been 100.
nostalgia, the story, the intro, the introduction to Sonic himself, and developing each character as they're being introduced. Knuckles, Tails,
You
to
could
come
just go
next, we
ahead and
know
say
it's
that's
Shadow.
already off base because humans ain't really in Sonic the Hedgehog video game.
But in the show, they are.
Yeah, because the movie is not like perfect. As
But
I was saying,
no, I
and
mean,
then it's a
then
live action.
if you're going based off of like Sonic Adventure, like yeah, they go from like the island into the city,
Word.
so it's still technically accurate.
Okay, so now we playing semantics instead of
It's
simple.
Nah, I'm just saying.
okay.
So all I'm getting at is from game to big screen adaptation. I won't even say movie, the big screen, and that could be a big screen at home or a big screen at a facility,
Give me an
wherever the
example
big
of
screen
one
is
that
to you.
flopped.
I mean, I'm biased, so I'm gonna just say The Last of Us right off the bat.
That's interesting. We were just talking earlier that Last of Us was received very well and said it was like one of the best adaptations from game to like.
Yeah, but that's what every fan is gonna
I just
say.
think you're biased because you don't like it, so you saying that. So that's not a good example. Give me another one.
I said I'm biased.
Well, give me another one that you're unbiased about that we could probably agree on.
I was gonna say I ain't watched none of the Sonic movies, and I
Me
like
neither.
Sonic.
Me neither, and I like Sonic, but
I
I'm
just
not
didn't
saying
really
it
feel a
was
need
shit.
to
I'm
watch
just
live
saying, give me an
action.
example of a bad one.
I ain't gonna lie though. I'm probably gonna watch the third one because of my nigga Shadow.
Yeah, it's the year.
You ain't
later,
gonna
so
watch
gotta
one
make more
and
to
two
something
though?
for
Just
him.
go straight to 3?
Nigga,
Yeah,
I
bro.
went
I know
straight
what
to
Sonic
Rogue
the Hedgehog
One, but
is. I
stay
don't.
focused. Don't dodge this L you taking right now,
Okay,
nigga.
hey, nigga better kill Maria too. I better hear that.
Get back
Maria,
on topic.
that's oh.
Let me hear it. Give me one
Here,
bad one.
I don't think there is. Like
Man, what?
I enjoy all the Sonic ones
Why
were
the fuck
great.
did you just say that?
The Halo, huh? Say what? I mean, I said The Last of Us.
Yeah, but besides that one, so you got one, and you just said the majority
Let
of
me
them.
get
So that's an outlier. When there are plenty of other ones,
Because the majority that I know is Sonic, Mario.
that means the majority of that you know are good, not bad, bro.
Let me see.
Which
That's what I
means
said.
which
We're
means
talking
your
about
hate for the
bad
Fallout
like
is
game
unwarranted.
to like film adaptations.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, but no, I was gonna argue like because now the ongoing statement for this
Hmm.
today's or I guess this year is Fallout being the best game to big screen adaptation.
I got a good
how
one.
many of their other ones have there been this year? Halo? I mean, Halo wasn't received too well. Not gonna lie to you, because I mean, people didn't like the fact Master Chief was taking his helmet off, and they don't like the way he's treating Cortana. That's Halo fans. That's their gripes with that situation. Besides
Haven't
that,
seen the Halo series.
oh, yeah.
Okay.
Besides
So
that,
like,
yeah.
if we're
What's
talking,
that?
if we have no time limit, I want to go and put Resident Evil up there. I did like the old movies, but they don't do the game and the lores and justice at all. So like the old Resident Evil movies, they are bad adaptations. I don't know why I'm bringing this up. I just, you know,
Oh no, that's a good point
uh,
actually because I feel like
yeah.
I like the movies a lot better than the game.
But
What the fuck?
I'm saying I haven't seen a bad adaptation yet, game wise.
Mm.
I can't say so. And there's
Well,
there's a movie coming out this year that's an
mm,
adaptation of my favorite game series, Borderlands. So
hmm
who knows?
Well, that should be a good chance. I think like so like I think like what makes a bad adaptation because people usually like mix up bad like they have the product has to be bad for it to be a bad adaptation. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think like it can be a good film but a bad adaptation. Oh, perfect example is Percy Jackson, the 2012 movie or whatever.
Damn.
Good film, terrible adaptation
Of the
of
book.
the book. Yes, terrible adaptation of the book, but by itself, just want to have fun. Like I watched the new Percy Jackson series on Disney Plus.
Yep.
Rick Riordan, the writer of the books, he's with it. He's a producer on the series, so he's very tightly close to what happened, right? And that series is a really great adaptation, right? It gets well no, I ain't even gonna say that because they had to child it down for Disney Plus and shit. But it's a better adaptation because it gets things more tightly and gets more of the story. But I like the film better because hope you know what I'm saying like the other shit is not as good. It's not exciting. It's not tense. So you can be a good film but be a bad adaptation. I think what makes an adaptation good or bad is if they captured the essence of what the thing is like is this do I get the same feeling I did from the original, from the video game or whatever I'm adaptation from? Get the original essence of it, whether that be like the horror, the action, the comedy, whatever that is the heart of that. You got to capture that. And also something else I think a lot of people fuck up on because they don't think about is that when you're adapting something, it's in the word. You have to adapt to it. It's not word for word, bar for bar, copy pasting. If you do that, it's going to be terrible. You have to adapt to the medium you're going towards, right? Um, so like for example, if you're doing a show, cut in the campaigns and episodes, cut the campaign episodes and the show episodes, adapt it well. Like a lot of people don't adapt, they just straight up copy and paste over, and I think that's what makes a lot of adaptations bad because they don't, bother to like really get what the thing is. They just think as long as this is there, it's gonna work. But yeah, there are a couple bad, like another one I wanted to talk on, but I can't like say for sure is the MK movie because that's more recent, right? The Mortal Kombat movie. I think it's on Max. I enjoyed the movie, but I don't remember it being the best adaptation because like they just did a lot of shit their own way and like some shit just didn't make sense. But I have to rewatch the movie to really give you my honest opinions on that because it's been a fat minute. But yeah, that's an example for me. That's how I feel about that.
Yeah, no. See, I wasn't trying to say that there was many or majority of these
I
adaptations are
just want to
bad. I'm
know
just saying that
bad.
there was
That's it.
that's what I was asking too.
Uh,
You're asking
Like
what?
I wasn't even asking that, so I'm just stating like what is the best or while watching the Fallout series,
Mm-hmm.
to kind of give judgment on would you consider it being the best adaptation or game to big screen adaptation or series or movie adaptation based
Well,
off of what we've had.
like I said, I think The Last of Us is a good one. Um, what what else? I haven't watched Sonic, so I'm not sure. Uh, I
Yeah,
heard Monster Hunter was bad, so don't bother.
it was a weird movie.
Oh,
Monster
Doom!
Hunter
I
or
think.
Five
Well, no,
Nights?
I never. Huh? Monster Hunter.
Doom.
Oh, Doom did have an adaptation, yeah,
Yes.
with The Rock.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna lie. I watched the movie before I knew Doom was a game, so I could be biased. I like the movie. There you go, Cap. Yeah, with the Rock. Yeah, that old ass shit. Once again, I wasn't a fan of the video game Doom before I watched it, so I can't tell
Interesting.
you the
I think that's
adaptation
the
part.
only good title from Bethesda.
Really?
Sheesh.
What the fuck? Wait, did you even play the last two Doom games? You played Eternal?
I did play
Oh,
Eternal.
oh
Did play
man.
Eternal. I
Oh,
actually
okay.
got
Well,
into PvP because of Eternal.
what do you? Huh?
It's fast paced. I
Oh,
like that the
oh.
game was it
That was
forces.
the PvP where it was like one demon versus two Slayers, right?
I think so. Yeah, it was a power up that you could
Yeah.
get like on the
Oh,
map.
no,
Yeah.
that was the 2016 Doom.
What? You sure?
Yeah, because I love that multiplayer, but the Eternal, the other one didn't have that. It had like one demon versus or like two demons versus two players or whatever. But what you're talking about is like the COD style thing with the power up turns to demon. Yeah, that was the 2016 joint.
Gotcha.
I was doing. Yeah. Which, oddly enough, I love 2016 Doom, both the multiplayer and the story. I finished it. Bought Eternal, but I never finished it. Don't know why. I just and it's not even like I got stuck or anything. I just at one point put it down, and never picked it back up.
That's essentially what happened. Well, I stopped owning an Xbox, but yeah. Honestly, the gameplay for Doom is really like what set it off for or set itself apart from any other Bethesda game for me. And that aspect of you having to fight, you got to jump in there and fight to either get ammo or health packs. It was unique.
Hmm. But you went comp into a MOBA though. That's very different though. What did you say?
Yeah,
Mm.
I mean, I like
Well,
specific games in their genres, respectively.
respectively, all right. So we kind of I don't even know how we got here. We treaded off track like a motherfucker. Like, but back on to like pop culture and stuff. We kind of covered a little bit of other shows. Invincible, season 2, part 2. It's fully out. I'm behind. Don't spoil it for me, so I can't talk about it. I'm sorry, but that I've heard is really nice. I had people actually telling me today that is really nice. So I guess I got to hop on that. And also the other thing popping off on Disney Plus, finally a dub for them for once. X-Men 97 is still popping off. People are loving it. I'm still on episode 3 of that. Not sure if you guys have caught up and watched that at all.
Just the
But
first
yeah, just a
episode.
remaster. Yeah, the remastered whole thing. It's pretty heat. I like it. I like it so far, and I think it's gonna do great. It's just Disney Plus needs to have more than one. They need more than one hitter. And motherfuckers gonna get tired. The back ain't gonna carry for long. On to another topic, huge this week. Into the music, specifically the hip hop genre. We got all this beef flying around like a summer barbecue, right? So
Tough.
everyone knows the album by Metro and Future, "We Don't Trust You," right? And it had that diss track featuring Kendrick Lamar. And we know that J. Cole dropped back, but then quickly backtracked and apologized. I went ahead and watched the apology before the recording because I wanted to see it live because Ash was talking about it. And I see what he's talking about, right? I understand. Like, and me personally, I don't care about the beef. I'm just in it for the music, right? So I'm not gonna promote these niggas coming for each other for real, for real. Uh, but so J. Cole backing out on that, and he removed the song from his project, correct?
Yes.
Like he took it
He
down. Yes,
did. He did.
fully backtracking on that. How do you guys feel about that? Do you guys think it's justified? Do you think because a part of me honestly thinks like, well, the fact that he dropped the song, you kind of already threw a punch back. Maybe it's a little too late for the track, but at the same time, I kind of changed my mind to listen to that apology because I understand what he's talking about. And these are people too. But how do y'all feel about it?
Probably should have just left that shit up, gang. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yep.
the other part of me that's thinking, yeah, like just never threw a punch. But I mean, but him taking it down is kind of like kind of retracting it in a way, but not
That shit
really.
still once
Hey,
it's on the internet, it's on the internet
uh,
forever. They teach us
that
that.
is true.
You know what I
That is
mean?
true.
That's just out there,
That
gang.
is true. All right, and of course, Metro and Future hit us with the double whammy. The "We Still Don't Trust You" album release that happened over this past weekend, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm in love. I'm fucking with it heavy. All right, I think I like this one damn near better than the first one. It's just a whole different vibe. Um, I don't know. Have y'all had the chance to listen to the album yet?
I have. I can't say the same. I like.
Really?
Yeah, I like. We don't trust you a lot more. As a whole project, we don't
Uh-huh.
trust you. I feel like it's
Okay.
a lot better. But
Yeah, I feel like they were just two different things. Like,
for sure.
yeah, for sure. But like, I still fuck with both heavy. I wasn't expecting this at all though. Like, just like for it to be like something completely different from the other project, and they released so close, it was kind of surprising to me. It
Yeah,
was almost
he
like
said it was a
Chris Brown
separate
level
piece.
of
You know,
songs.
separate
Yeah,
piece of work, body of work type stuff. But I feel like if that was the case, like it shouldn't still be about beef unless that's what you're using
yeah.
it for.
That's what I was confused about. That's what I thought I was getting into.
Yeah.
But hey, but it's product placement, it's advertising, bro. Like, of course they named it that. That's the had the biggest pull at the time. I understand. People want to check back in on the beef and just get a whole different project. But hey, they got them.
And I wonder if that
Um,
like correlated to the extra tracks they added at the end because they restart the track count. And I think it's like
yeah,
point three
yeah,
six, something
I
like that.
saw that.
So,
Uh huh.
but
But hey, that kind of ties into like maybe the beef is just a stunt. The beef promotes wealth. It promotes the business for them. So
everybody's getting
it's
money
it's
from it.
nothing. Exactly. It's nothing
Yeah.
but good for them, to be honest. Speaking of continuing, Drake responding back, which we've all been speculative over whether that actually is really him or not. But I am pretty sure it is by this point because, like I said, I was when I got into my car this morning on the radio, some radio station was playing it. And it's just like, oh shit, this made it onto the radio. Either it's a clever ass fucking AI or hey, it's really him. So I'm thinking maybe it is him. And like, have y'all heard why it's called "Drop and Give Me 50"? Like the double entendre there, because it's
Nope,
not just push-ups.
can't
So
say.
apparently the record labels like the shit that the song Kendrick made or whatever. I think it was targeted at Kendrick. Yeah, fact check me, right, audience. But basically the songs that he was made under the contract, like 50% of it was gonna go to Drake's label. So that's what it drop and give me 50, like 50% of the royalties, basically is what he's saying.
Interscope.
And that yeah.
Interesting.
So like that's what he's saying. And so like that was kind of cool to figure it out. And listening to this itself, it was pretty heat. I fucked with it. You know, I feel like a lot of people did for it to blow up as much without being officially released.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, it's fucking Drake. They blow up anything.
Enough for
Um.
Rick Ross to
Mhm.
respond within an hour.
Oh yeah. But before we
That
go on
was
that, how
crazy.
you? Yeah. Okay, we'll move on to that. So with the Rick Ross this, which I also had a chance to listen to before now, response. How y'all feeling about that?
I didn't finish it, to be honest. Rick Ross just never, like, I could never listen to his song. His voice is kind of annoying,
My goodness, man.
but I hope it was a good diss track,
I'm
yo.
gonna,
I
I'm gonna
think
need a
all in
list of
all, it
things
was a
you like
pretty
one
good diss
day. It
track.
ain't gonna
Not
be long.
not gonna lie. He put he shedded a lot of light on certain things, and tried to
Uh,
say Drake got plastic surgery, nose jobs, fake six packs,
all that.
and
Mm.
and Drake personally said that he doesn't like being called white boy, which is why Rick Ross
Yeah, bro. When he was
emphasized
saying that, at first I was like, bro, who he talking about? Then I realized I was like, oh my god, that's disrespectful.
so that added a little spin to it too.
Yeah.
But
Didn't they have like after that like a whole like war on Instagram or something?
I don't know. I didn't follow it that closely.
They was having a roast session on Instagram afterwards, yo, and like Rick Ross again through that whole plastic surgery thing or whatever, and then Drake threw up a picture of Rick Ross just like sitting on a couch with his shirt off, and it was captioned like go put a shirt on, and then he had a picture of himself saying this is motivation or something like that or whatever.
Golly, bro. But like once again, this shit just goes back to say, like, for instance, I really didn't know Rick Ross was still dropping music, to be honest. To like this is out of nowhere for me. And this is just like an example of like the beef bringing people back up, you know what I mean? I wouldn't listen to Rick Ross, otherwise. You
Same
feel it?
thing with ASAP hopping on that album out of nowhere, you know?
Yeah, right. Like I didn't even recognize his fucking voice. That's how long it's been since I heard ASAP. And like that shit's crazy. Like this shit just bringing everybody back up, and it's just bringing them more business, bringing them more profit, more views. It's kind of crazy. So like, do y'all think like, what do y'all think about this beef in general? Do you
It's
think it's just
keeping
like
music
it's
entertaining, bro.
it does, no cap. But like, you think it's real beef? You think it's just for entertainment? You think
I think
what it
certain
was?
aspects of it are real,
Mm-hmm.
but I think what sparked it off is because the internet is just such a mob mentality. Like,
It is. It is. We talked about this in another episode. Mob mentality, the echo chamber. You got to get
absolutely,
outside. You got to get some adversity and different opinions in your life.
because
They
like
really help balance you.
Kendrick's verse wasn't that deep, as big as it is now. To think about it, like niggas is basically picking sides, starting a war over 14 bars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And his bars,
It
like,
is.
it wasn't that bad, bro. It wasn't. It was hype, but it was no ether. It was no Ice Cube, no Vaseline. You know what I mean? Well, nothing like that. But that explains a lot. That's why.
Hype men got a hype, bro.
Hype men do.
That's the purpose. You know what I mean? They warn. Meanwhile, there's me, vibing to each of the disses back to back in the middle.
Facts.
And I like it that way. But we'll see how this unfolds. If there's more that happens, we'll talk about it next week. But as far as pop culture goes, I think that is all the news we have. So I think that's all the news we have in period. So unless you guys have any other type of updates or anything else you want to say, we'll be signing off here shortly. All right, silence is consent. All right, well, once again, congratulations to our 2 Dragon Dogma winners, Beelzera and Simon Riley. Be sure to be lookout on the Discord for you two. Congratulations, and let's hopefully see some more successful one of these in the future. Once again, peace out from four. Well, almost said 4. Wow, the 3 of us here. Hey, rest in peace, Ashley. He ain't dead, but he's just not here right now. And we hope to see you guys, or we hope that you guys hear from us next week. Peace out.